years, I've been taking care of this little boy. Making sure he is loved, that he feels like he belongs wherever he wants to be.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Box Office Quarterbacks. Today we're getting into the nerd shit, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because the trailer released this morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Before we jump into the thick of it all, let's check in with our guys. Today I have Ahmed and Jeff with me. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Fucking fantastic.
I
Let's
t-
talk about it.
I told Jeff that
All
you know me. I watched the trailer before this episode. So.
right. Of course, yeah. No, so I'm gonna walk through it real quick. It's a quick 2-minute trailer. It really starts with Miles and his mother on a bridge overlooking New York City, having a very eerie conversation together about something without really directly talking about it. In fact, it kind of starts with Miles saying, "I can hear you being quiet, Mom." Um, Continues hinting that she has seen her boy be a man at times. Something that, from the last movie, we know that they were unaware that Miles was Spider-Man. So it's kind of giving off the vibe that, at this point, when this conversation is had in the movie, she knows well that he has been Spider-Man for a little bit. We see flashbacks from the last movie. We get Peter B. Parker back, Gwen Stacy, and we get to see what they're up to a little bit. It looks like Peter B. Parker as a child, along with other highlights with the suit reveal from the last movie, and a few new scenes that look mixed in there as well. But amid all those, we also get a few of his dad in a manner that I kind of want to talk with y'all about in a little bit. But it just in a very RIP kind of way, if that makes sense. Get some fantastic animation, multiverse of Marvel, so many Spider-Man out there we end up seeing. Kind of goes on, Miles promising to his mother that we are supposed before he says these promises to his mother to be a good man and to stand up for everything that's right. And then it keeps on going on. Trailer has a little more from Gwen and Spider-Man 2099 when Gwen says but we are supposed to be the good guys in Spider-Man 2099 with Oscar Isaac's voice and face, or
Yeah.
just saying we are. So it's kind of, I feel like there's going to be a big kind of morality discussion throughout this film that we're going to see from that. And it just kind of ends with that, a little bit more music, a little more animation. So from that, let's just start with what are y'all's major takeaways from this trailer?
Yeah, so the first movie is probably my favorite superhero movie of all time. Gerald, I had Sunflower play at my wedding when we were walking down the aisle, me and my wife. So, I love this movie. I am so excited for a sequel, and it looks like from my initial reaction to this that this is going to be bigger in every sense of the word. This is what we wanted Multiverse of Madness to be. This is me and Gerald's Multiverse of Madness for sure. Seeing all these spider people on screen, and if they pull it off, it's just going to be an even better, uh, you know, it's going to be even better entry to the Spider Verse and the Sonyverse moving forward.
a
Oh,
thousand
you talk too
percent, Jeff.
much.
A thousand percent. I think because it's an animated movie, they may have a little bit more flexibility with some of the characters. They can kind of have some free range. But I think it's going to be star-studded blockbuster. Something that the viewers will be really excited about. Seems action-packed and. Kind of touching on what you were mentioning, Gerald, there's this kind of morality. I feel like Spider-Man's going to be facing his biggest adversary, which is himself. No pun intended. But it seems like he's going to be just fighting these versions of himself, and that's kind of where he loses, or he will be questioning his own identity, even maybe, because that's what was something that kind of struck me whenever his mom was saying, "Don't forget who you are." Why would he? Unless there's a million other versions of himself that maybe he's not sure which one is the right version.
Yeah, and I think that's very interesting. I had a lot of the same takeaways. Um, Takeaways just it feels like it's going to have that big morality check, or and then also just I want to know really what's going to be the who the villain is, 'cause I know it's Spot, I believe is what it is, right? Or
Yeah, it's Spot.
um, and
Which was
that's
he
a
was like a joke kind of in the animated
yeah.
series. So
He
yeah,
was, yeah. But he can actually jump into a multiverse, and that's how he can commit crimes and go back to his home world and just live this life that he wants to live. So, like, but I kind of feel like we are gonna see more of like a maybe a Spider Group argument because during the montage of different Spider-Man, we do get to see the superior Spider-Man, which was when Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body. So that we could I could definitely see that kind of Spider-Man coming in, introducing a whole negative take on things, possibly after the death of Miles' father. And Miles takes in on that and agrees with it and goes on with it. Um, maybe doesn't know that he's Doc Ock, finds out that he's his true identity along the way. Some crazy shit like that, and they end up not killing Spot. But it's just that's where it feels like that trailer was telling us without really telling us all that much.
I was gonna say, remind me, does Prowler, who's his uncle, is he still around? I haven't seen the first one in a
he
while.
yeah he died in
He
the
died.
first one. Yeah,
He
Okay,
died.
I felt like we got a glimpse of him in the trailer. That's why I bring it up.
is that your cats, Ahmed? Sorry.
Yeah, they're both like eating, like they're wanting attention, and
Okay.
That's fine.
yeah, I'm sorry. This episode has been brought to you by Raja and Scratchy.
We
uh,
did get you.
I'm gonna
No,
leave it
but
in.
that's what she said.
Oh, and I'm leaving that in too. All right,
Oh god.
there she is.
Oh gosh.
There,
All
this
right, so
is
like
this
let's
is
keep moving
Raja.
on. Oh, hey Raj.
All
Hey
right,
Raja.
he's gonna stick around. Let's go.
All right. All right.
So
What was I gonna
I kind
say?
of I kind of just went with what I think a plot would be basically for this movie, but kind of what do y'all think? After watching this trailer, if you had to guess what the plot was, what would you say?
I think that Gwen probably takes Miles into like the Spider Verse, like maybe like the hub of where all the spider people live and they have to save the universe at some point in the movie, and the spider group probably has like some sort of fracture in the middle of the movie caused by the spot, and I think that they take sides. I would say that it's Gwen and Miles and Peter B. Parker on one side, and then Spider-Man 99, Superior Spider-Man, and some other ones on the other side. That's what I think the
Hmm.
plot is going to be.
I think that's a better guess than I could have. I can't even think of what the plot could be. Yeah, he's gone now. I can't even imagine what the plot could be just because I feel like any guess would be wrong. Because I didn't even know what to expect with Into the Spider-Verse, but I just
Hmm.
know that after watching it, it became one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, which is difficult to say now because I really liked the last Spider-Man, No Way From Home. I think there were some people that were kind of uh, thinking there were too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. But I really liked it, so I'm curious how they're gonna really top this one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my take.
All right. All right. So for me, I have a few Spider-Men that I want to see in this movie. It looks like we're going to get a shit ton of them. So maybe we have some that we all want. Um, Jeff, do you have any Spider-Man that you were particularly hoping will show up in this film?
Honestly, the ones that I saw, the PS5, PS4, Insomniac Spider-Man that we're getting is like the one I'm most excited about. If we get the 90s Spider-Man, I would love that too because I grew up with the 90s Spider-Man series and that's still one of my favorite takes on him. I know everybody online is like, "Oh, look, that was Andrew Garfield or that was Tobey Maguire," and they're like, I would like to see them, but we
Mm-hmm.
had just seen a team up with the three live action Spider-Man, so I think they can leave them out of it if they really needed to. I saw this dude in there, bombastic Bagman, which is Spider-Man when he loses his mask, and the Fantastic Four give him a costume. So that guy's in there. There's endless possibilities that you can do.
I am I the only one that kind of just wants to see Venom and Carnage and really good light. I'm sorry, but Sony didn't really do justice with Venom or Venom 2. So I just really, really want it to just be done right. Raja, you think so too?
The
Yeah.
categories. The categories. I do want to see. I kind of disagree with you. I mean, like, I don't need them to be a part of the film, but if even if there was just like a, among the 100 Spider-Man, they show, very obvious, like, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man outfit, or very obvious Andrew Garfield one. Since now they have been a part of the multiverse, it would make sense to include them, especially if you're going to have hundreds of them just kind of fighting each other. At least I feel, because we've already acted like with having them have the live action, they are the main ones now. So we kind of have to wonder, like, if they would do that. Um, I also want to see. I can't wait for Spider Punk. Spider Punk's exciting. Um,
Like I love
and
Ben Riley.
Sony's,
I
ooh,
love Ben Riley, so I
Ben
would
Riley
love
would
to
be
see
great.
him. Yeah.
And if I know we are getting, I know we saw PS5 Spider-Man in there, but if we get the voice actor Yuri Lowenthal too, as long as we get the same voice actor, have him be a main part. He was actually a part in the comics. I want to say it was the Into the Spider Verse or the sequel to it. I can't. It's a lit comic list that you can find on the Marvel Unlimited app, and he's actually in it. Like, he's included in it. They made a comic with the PS5 Spider-Man and
Oh, I did
Superior
not know that.
Spider-Man. Superior Spider-Man like goes and recruits him to come into this big fight because they're trying to stop this thing that's trying to kill all the Spider-Man. You know, so
Yeah, I got to read that.
um, it's a very exciting story, and I think that's kind of where they could be going with this, because that whole comic storybook, that storyline does have a lot of conversations about Doc Ock, Superior Spider-Man leading a certain team and the other team being split, and they're both going after the same villain. And, like, one's getting certain kind of intel, the other one's getting another intel. They're taking the fights, and they might be winning a battle or two, but they're also losing ones that they would win together. So it'd be an interesting take. I don't know if they can do all that in a 2 hour long animated movie, and we're probably getting way too ahead of ourselves. I mean, this is the first trailer we've got, or second trailer we've gotten.
Yeah, but this
Well,
is part
actually,
part two of three though, because they already announced the third
Yes.
movie, so we're gonna get a lot, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if like the runtime like pushed 3 hours if it really did, and I'd be down for it.
you know what I was going to say? I forgot. I don't think we mentioned. Um, I kind of want to see if Donald Glover is going to be part of the project.
Yes.
Uh, you know what I mean? Because there were a lot
Yes.
of rumors, for those that remember, um, 2011 maybe,
Well,
where
he's
everybody was like,
inspired him. He inspired Miles
"Yeah,
Morales.
did he
And,
really?
like,
I didn't know
actually,
that."
yeah. Well, he inspired because he had that whole he was pushing
'Cause-
himself. Somebody had fan casted him on Reddit or something, or some shit, right? So Donald
yeah,
Hmm.
Glover had been, like, there was a whole rumor going around. He was asked in an interview, and then, like, he kind of just started, like, pitching himself, in ways through the media, and, like, in the show Community. There's an episode, like, where he gets out of bed, like, stoned, but he's wearing a Spider-Man shirt, and or a
Oh,
Spider-Man costume, and, like, that scene is actually animated form, playing on the TV that Miles Morales' uncle was watching at his apartment whenever Miles and him were there.
that's right. Yeah,
dude.
and
And
he
it's
played
crazy that I remember
Miles's
that whole
uncle
thing.
too.
But yeah, and he played
Played
Miles'
Miles's
uncle.
uncle. Yeah,
So, but
Yeah.
because of that whole thing, that was whenever the comic storyline was coming in. If I remember correctly, that kind of inspired the comic book writers to go toward launching a Miles Morales character.
yeah,
If I remember correctly,
yeah. I would love to
because
see
Miles
him
is a
in there
very
for
new
sure.
character. So
Hmm. No, rightly so. I mean, it seemed like um, Into the Spider-Verse didn't it win an Oscar, or it was nominated for something for an
Yeah, it
Oscar?
was best animated movie that year. It won
mhm.
and it beat a bunch of Pixar shit. So
And it looks
Yeah,
like
it
we're getting
really
the
set the
same.
bar.
yeah,
And it looks like we're getting similar animation, probably progressed, obviously, and probably a longer, better story that isn't based on training a hero. Now it's kind of staying or becoming the true hero. So,
yeah.
with that, I want to ask you guys, as far as trailers go, where do you rank this on our scale?
Like trailer wise, it's kind of hard. I like Wakanda Forever is like a great trailer that I watched even after I saw that movie. This is great for different reasons where you're going to go back and try to see as many different Easter eggs as you can, and the emotional like aspect of the beginning of the trailer with his mom is great. Like I don't know, all star. I guess for ranking a trailer is probably where I would put it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd give it an all-star. It leaves you definitely wanting more. It felt like it wasn't until the latter half that we really got into the nuts and bolts of the movie. And um, sometimes you can go either way with trailers where it'll give too much away, it, or it won't give enough away. And this kind of felt more of the second that I wish we just could have gotten more. But it's encouraging me to watch it. I'll watch it nonetheless. But that's why I'll give it an all-star.
So yeah, I really did like it. It's just it's fine. It's not amazing. It's not the greatest trailer I've ever seen. It's not terrible because, like you said, it doesn't give enough away of the plot, and like obviously, in a to where like you're just like, okay, well, I just watched a freaking movie. Why do I need to wait 9 months, or why do I even need to
Yeah,
watch it when it does come out? But also, like, it wasn't anything world shattering. It was good. I think it would have hit different had Miles' dad actually died at the end of the last movie. And that's saying that's even the death they're talking about or they're hinting at. That's just a theory that I threw out there that couldn't be true. It could be completely
I
wrong.
think I think it is true though, just
I
because
think so too.
like Miles' dad does die in the comics, and Miles' dad dies in the Miles Morales. Well, no, it's the
Well,
PS5
Spider
Spider-Man
Man.
game he dies in. Yeah, so it's canon. I think it does happen in this movie.
Yeah. So, but I
Sorry,
mean, it's
Oh,
nothing. It's nothing
she
world
wants to
shattering, but
join
it's a
too.
starter. But I'm glad we had this conversation. Do y'all have anything to add?
I would say,
none.
to capitalize on the world-shattering, the Deadpool 3 reference, with Hugh Jackman, that was earth-shattering in my opinion. And if,
Oh, the
you know,
announcement.
yeah,
Yeah.
so if Across the Spider-Verse is trying to, encourage that kind of reaction, I would say drop a huge Easter egg, a huge bomb. Don't tease us anymore, Marvel, Sony, Columbia Pictures. Just show us. We're tired, we're excited, and we need validation, damn it. Just like my cat. That's why she's here.
I know he's over here bouncing her like a baby.
She is a
I love it.
baby. Don't
Well,
tell her that.
Jeff, did you have anything else?
Nothing else.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get us away from here because Ahmed's taking too much of his cat's time away from the camera.
Do you hear
And
her growling?
also, I think we're just done talking about this movie because it hasn't even come
Yeah,
out yet, but we will be reviewing more movies and more shows in the future. You can follow us and find out what's up next on our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and find us on YouTube. For Jeff and Ahmed, I'm Gerald. Have a good night.